Hello, welcome to the Kobold Cafe. I'm Luke, the GM. Today we're playing the Frozen Gods. I've done this in the wrong order, but
You've
we've got
totally done this in the wrong order.
Lee.
Hey, Emily, I play Katya. Looking forward to seeing what kind of trouble she can get into while she's grounded.
Gotta sneak out, climb out the window. That'll probably be impossible for you. I don't think you'd manage it. Too risky, deadly.
I mean, Ethan might stop her.
I think she'd just follow. Where
Yeah,
go?
100%.
That leads on to Terra.
Hey, I'm Tara. I play Etho. Um, I am insane? No, not insane. Different culture. Very different culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very different. Still a bit insane, but that's not because you're from a different culture. That's That's got its all other loads of things. We're going into territories. James.
Hey, I am James. I will be playing Archibald Smith, Bishop Archibald Smith, and I'm rather worried that I'm gonna have to make a martyr tonight.
Yeah, it's. I've not got shifty eyes at all. You're planning on killing yourself, yeah? We're on the same page, right?
No, I'm worried that I'm gonna wind up having to kill leader of uh uh
A
the
religious
Edgarites.
sect.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which as much power as said sect has,
You might not have to kill him personally. I mean, ideally, an executioner will kill him by hanging or beheading, or I've not really decided what method they use here yet.
Yeah, but last week they did mention, that Archie's gonna be the one to have to at least like go bring him in.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
it's definitely your job.
like in the end, like no matter what happens, like Archie's the one who did it.
Yep, it's all because of you. This is all because of you, Archie.
Yeah.
Well, so last week you finally made it back to the capital. Lady Katya made it back to a lovely home, a 3-story terraced townhouse in the centre of the wine district with a roomy cellar to boot and plenty of staff to run hot baths and prepare tasty food all day long. Her and
It's
Etho
good to be
had
here.
a bit of a wrestle.
Finally had an Ichidaio.
Ishideo. Mm-hmm. After meeting at the keep to announce that you'd returned, Etho got real upset about the people in the keep in general and stormed off. Got back to Lady Katya's house all in a huff. Removed a stump with a claws. This is exactly what it sounds like. And then when Lady Katya got back, it was time for the Ichidayo.
And Katya actually won just because I had 3 FP left.
It was a well-timed Ichidayo.
It was
Mhm.
really well timed.
Perhaps Lady Katya wouldn't have agreed to finally Ichidayo if she'd have known that the result meant that she is now betrothed to Etho.
Yeah, but then the scary thing is, what's the alternative? Like, betrothed or die?
Yeah, we still don't know if there was an alternative other than death.
Mm-hmm.
Archie, meanwhile, he'd been along for that as well, but earlier in the day, you met with the swords of the sons of Arate, as they call
Yes, those
themselves.
guys.
And they're being led by a fella who they've been calling Pious Ansga. He's definitely a portly, well-fed gentleman compared to most of the peasants around here that are fairly haggard, especially the ones in his flock at least. And you had a bit of a heated argument with him as he was preaching from a soapbox outside the cathedral. In fact, the rector in charge of the cathedral, who's kind of wielding power as if he's your superior, but he's absolutely not. At least by the way it's written in the books.
Wait, who is that?
The rector who runs the cathedral,
Oh, yes.
Michael, with his huge goiter. He could barely walk from the gout, I'm sure. But I think that's about enough recap. We'll be catching up as you're arriving for court session on Thursday, December 2nd.
I'm not allowed in, right? That's what he said.
Who said this?
The guy I got pissed at when he saw my claws.
He did say that, yeah. Uh-huh. I think
If that's
So-
the case, I'll wait outside and listen intently to see if I hear a screaming
I did
Lita.
forget one note from last week. Katya's dad sent her a letter by way
Yes.
of who I called at the time a courier, but who was in fact more of her father's right-hand man and primary, job doer. He's definitely sent your father here to spy on you and check up on you properly so he can report back.
Yeah, probably. Gonna have to behave.
Your dad's promised that he's coming for the upcoming festival that starts in 2 weeks, middle of December, and lasts until January 1st.
I was also tipped off as to the potential suitor who's horrible.
Oh, he's getting murdered, man.
Mm-hmm.
Archibald did send some letters to some potential eligible bachelors for you, though.
Do you have writing, Archibald?
No.
The
No.
skill or the advantage?
He's got the advantage, thankfully. Let's leave this to the gods, then. Okay, that's about what I expected for... there are 4 of these guys. Okay, getting better. Well.
If any of them are particularly, potentially good suitors, both wealthy, noble, and, decent people, Katya is happy to use her luck on it.
And they will fight me to the death for the honor of being your betrothed.
There is one that I think you'd probably want to use your luck on.
Absolutely.
Go right ahead, and that's me pressing the button again twice.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think we'll take that last one there. For people playing along at home, these are reaction rolls that I'm making on behalf of the readers of Archibald's letters. 4 noblemen who reside in the eastern kingdom of Keem, which has been crusaded against, looted, and settled somewhat by these foreign devils that Archie used to crusade with. They're very entitled, the worshippers of Arete from the old continent. They believe all of this belongs to them.
Hey, by divine right, if we managed to take it from you, it's obviously ours. We were meant to have it.
Yeah, there's everything written in his book from the start of time until the end.
Anyway, let's get to it.
Let's get
Mhm.
through it, shall we? So, I do recall that Katya slept in a little bit,
Absolutely.
and Botchit had been asleep on your sofa.
He followed me to the church to talk to Arch about going after the festival up north again.
Oh, correct. Yeah, so you did all meet up before heading to the keep.
And then I think he Botchet wanted to go do chemistry stuff all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the stuff that happened yesterday, and the plan was to meet up at the keep the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So, if that's the case, you'll find an etho at the foot of your bed again.
Katia sleeps till like 11.
mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Oh, that's nice.
Probably
Like,
eating.
like on the
breakfast.
floor?
No, like sitting literally, like sitting on the foot of your bed, like eating.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Morning. Uh, I,
Lita Kacha. Morning.
I guess she seems a little awkward, but gets up and I need to get ready.
Yes, I eat you ready. She just stays there.
I'm gonna get some food.
I have food. She hands you a second plate that she brought in with her.
Okay. She starts eating.
I do feel a bit like this all already happened. I feel
Yeah.
like Mr. Luca came in with food in the morning.
Yeah,
You may be right.
I think it really did happen. I think literally we're coming off of the I think court was right after the meeting I had with Archie. I think that was the next thing that was going to happen.
We've
Yeah,
clearly
Fair enough.
transitioned into an anime format where the first half of the episode is the last half of the previous episode.
Exactly. So
All
yeah,
right. Then
if
to
that's
court.
the case, then I will follow Arch to court and then wait outside because I'm not welcome there.
Mm-hmm. Botchet was with you, but as you approach the keep gates, there are quite a few common folk around, and the guards will actually hold their hands up at Botchet and Etho as well, because I'm guessing you're not in that dress anymore.
Unless Katya is trying to drag me along and put me in a different dress, which is a distinct possibility.
We're coming from different places though, so she doesn't have the chance.
Then, and I didn't have time to pop back to Katya's place.
I thought we literally went from the church to the court.
Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, I would, and I probably get stopped unless Katya tries to drag my ass in because I probably beat her there.
That's the
Then I'll
point.
get stopped.
Archibald and Etho would arrive before Katya, and there's already the crowd there, and they're not letting any more commoners in. But Archibald, the guard, would immediately say, "Ah, Bishop Smith, you're here. Excellent. You're wanted. Please, right that way. Follow the
Does
stairs
Arch-
right to the upper hall."
I don't think Arch knows that. Archie knows that she's not supposed to come in, so yeah, I think he just keeps walking with her.
I'll keep traveling.
As you walk past Archie, the guard holds his hand out in front of Etho, and he says, "No more common folk. The court session is full. If you want
Is that any way to treat my friend?
This ruffian's with you, Bishop Smith?"
Yes.
My apologies, as you were. And he will let you pass.
Just kind of like march in.
Botchet, on the other hand, is turned away. He's a few steps behind you as you march in with Etho.
I mean,
Aw.
his dad just doesn't want to go to court. He's got his bees to think of.
Mm-hmm. I do like the image of Botchit being turned away and Archie and Etho forgetting though.
That's totally a Etho thing to do.
Probably like already through 3 sets of doors before you realise like weren't Botchit with us.
Shrug.
What
Who knows
rule?
what that crazy old man's up to?
Arch, what rules?
Just stay quiet. Like, don't make a scene in here.
Fine.
Roll me IQ, please, Archie. Someone calls to you from the top of some stairs to your right. Bishop Smith. He's a fairly young scribe of the church.
I go up to him.
The Archdeacon is waiting. Right this way, please.
I head over.
And he'll take you through to an office. Lots of guards are giving Etho looks. So obviously that a couple of you would probably notice. A couple of you being both of you. Katya, you would probably be arriving as well. They were also a bit late.
Sure. I assume she gets in, no problem.
Uh-huh. Lady Katya, the guards nod and move aside for you and push away some commoners.
What's with the crowd?
It's for the hearing, the news of Edgar.
Oh, that makes sense. Thanks. She heads in. And I suppose she heads to court.
Mm-hmm. There's a separate route for you to take, whereby you'd let in away from the big crowd of commoners that are in the main hall.
Sort of like petition hall type thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I have made a crude map of it. You would actually notice Eric over there as well, Lady Katya, as you come in from the left. Oh, some people aren't in the chairs properly because I adjusted the map and not them.
Ah, Lita Katja.
Archibald Smith, you'd have been directed to this table where the archdeacons sat.
Oh, shit.
And someone else would come and sit down with you. Where is the bastard?
Is Etho wearing her dress?
No.
Is Etho wearing her mittens?
Nope.
Etho, where's your dress?
You ripped it to shreds.
I did?
Yes, with during each dial.
All right, we need to get you a new dress. Let's try to stand near the back.
A few people, like someone you recognize, Lady Katya, another noble lady who is exceptionally dull. She likes to talk to you about the weather constantly, and it's snowing today, and it's snowing again today, Lady Katya. How are you? Oh, who's your friend?
This is Etho. She was our guide up north.
Oh.
I'm going to lean over to you, Katja, and whisper, am I talk? Arch said no talk.
Be polite.
They're
Yes.
awfully strange clothes. And is that climbing gear?
I look at my hands and go, yes?
How remarkable and ingenious. And then she's like, pleasure to speak to you, Lady Katya. And then she hurries
too.
over to her mother, who you also recognize, and the two are kind of whispering in each other's
Yep.
ears.
Katya knows what's about to happen.
Did I polite good?
Uh, Good enough. Maybe we should stand by the pillar, though.
Yes. Boop.
This guard's watching you very closely.
I have a feeling a lot of guards are watching me closely.
Eric's watching you very closely.
He was one from yesterday, right?
Eric is Jared.
Jared.
Oh, that's right.
Lady Katya, it's excellent to see you again. And Etho, excellent
Eric.
to see you haven't drank the blood of my compatriots.
I don't
No,
drink blood,
not
Eric.
at all. It turns out she's not a vampire.
No. Hopefully
But
that thing is still at large, because I intend to go and kill it tomorrow.
well,
Good
as
luck.
of a couple of days ago, it was at large. So, happy hunting.
He smiles. I'm exceptionally jealous of the trip you took.
It was great. I'm sorry you weren't able to stay with us.
My
If you're
father,
interested,
he glances at the king and says, Father thought it was best I stay.
I suppose.
He's been having... So he kind of talks lower to you, glances over at the other people who are talking, and when he's happy that they're not paying attention, he says, the king is in disagreement with his sons. It's causing quite the squabble.
That's never good.
No. Perhaps it will come up at this meeting, otherwise. While this conversation has been happening, Archie, the gentleman who walks over and sits down in between you and the Archdeacon, nods at you and says, Hello, sir. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Bishop Archibald, sir. And, might I ask the same?
Of course, I am Stiger Alvis.
Pleasure.
You got current affairs, area knowledge? I think
I
your area
have-
knowledge might be for the right place, actually.
I've got area knowledge Ettenden and Keem.
Which is higher?
Keem.
Yeah, or you can roll it. Both of those would work to know of this guy. Huh. You have heard of him. This guy is some kind of scholar, but like the most respected in the world right now.
Can I do that thing where? Oh, you're the guy who did the speech on blah blah blah.
He claimed that the Earth is a sphere,
Ah, there we go.
and that he proved this with measurements and astronomical data that he'd compared between Keem and Ettenden.
Ah, you're the guy who's trying to prove that the Earth is actually a globe.
He smiles at that. Trying to. Sir. Oh, my voice, it's changed. But, sir, the proof is already visible to anyone with an abacus.
Well, I have noticed that the days up here are definitely shorter, and that would actually support what you're saying.
He smiles and nods vigorously. Oh, I thought I recognized your outfit. You've been to the east? Archdeacon Thomas finally steps in, and he's like, Mr. Smith, or Bishop Smith. Feeling, Mr. Steger. He kind of just sneers, like cuts in, but he gives you a look It says, I'm excited to talk with you, Bishop Smith. I had hoped you would arrive earlier. But now it shall have to wait. And a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Alvis. I have been perusing the holy words, but I have found nothing so far as to say that your claims are blasphemous. You will be pleased to hear. And he smiles nervously at that.
I'll just flash him my now signature smile of, I'm polite, but I fucking hate you.
Cool. You notice, Lady Catch, you're looking terrified that Etho's there.
Pretty much.
They share a conversation with Eric and a noble woman. And there is all the while a clamour from a huge rowdy group of peasants that are kind of at the front of the main group of civilians that are allowed to attend the meeting. This is a very vague representation of the front of the throne room area.
This is the very front, but there's more.
Yeah, it goes further back. There's probably like 100 commoners in here at least. More than that, because the guards aren't great at counting and probably let too many in.
Because the guards don't actually know how to count.
Of course, there's actually room for a lot more of them, but they're only allowed on the right side of the hall. Whereas, like, on the left, there's still plenty of bare space. Like, all the noble people that are attending are represented almost on this map.
Oh.
Aristocracy.
I keep forgetting how much money I have.
We're buying you a new dress. We are doing that today.
If you had one made, you could probably get something that was both stylish and utility.
Wait, no, that was my dress. We're buying me a new dress. We're buying both of us a new dress. We need to go dress shopping.
As you wish, Lita Kacha.
Another sort of weird look.
Kale and the king have been whispering during this time, but then Kale steps forward, looks left and right, and sees that everyone's arrived, and steps forward and shouts over the noise of the peasants and the swords. They also wouldn't normally be as much kind of protection here as there is. The line of soldiers goes all the way to the main entrance at this carpet. And the reason there's so much guard presence is because all the swords of the Sons of Arate have come armed with their crude, cheap iron swords.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. They're even richer than I thought if they're not just using, pitchforks.
You would notice that a lot of them have wooden swords.
So clubs.
Yeah.
In the shape of swords.
Mm-hmm. They've been
Which
carved.
probably makes them less useful than clubs, because the
definitely.
weight of a club should be at the other end.
Mm-hmm.
God, those peasants are stupid.
This is a symbolism thing, not a killing thing. Most of the iron ones aren't even sharp, and they've been crudely hammered out over the past 3 weeks.
Also, Katya, you notice I keep glancing up at the front.
You're clearly more concerned about the royals up front than the large angry mob.
Like the king and all those guys. I keep eyeing them.
Like, you're suspicious of them?
No,
Or
they're
you're-
getting some evil. I look at them
Okay.
and then turn around and I look at the floor and look like kind of look.
Right.
That girl is berserk. Not
Uh,
actually. And thank God not actually, because she'd all
I
already be dead.
hate Berserk as a.
Same.
I like it in some cases, but not everything's Dwarf Fortress, so.
Berserk is good for like when you become a werewolf or something. Giving it to a human player, I'm not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But Kale is shouting over the peasants. Eventually they quiet down a bit and he's calling out, "The session will now begin. There are several items on the agenda." And then there's like chanting, "Edgar, Edgar. But we shall begin with the results of the mission to investigate the disappearance of Edgar the Wanderer. In attendance is Bishop Archibald Smith, Crusader from the East, highest member of the church in the capital of Ettendon. By God's grace and our grace as the king's, he has returned with news. Archibald, would you speak for the people?"
Yeah, I think Archie'll get out, and yeah, he will
Do you have public
pointedly.
speaking?
I do not have public speaking.
This
I'm
is
not
gonna
going to
go
make you a
amazing.
default roll
Um,
because that'd be cruel.
yeah, right.
But also hilarious, but no, it's not. I may give you
I
a
mean,
huge bonus
it's not
depending on what you
gonna-
say.
It's not going to do gravitas or anything. I think when public speaking is when you're trying to give it some oomph or whatever. He can just
Yeah.
say whatever he wants.
Yeah. If you're not trying to persuade him of anything in particular, I don't need
Not-
any kind of.
Not necessarily, but I'll definitely be addressing the sons of the Sword of Arete,
Okay,
and
let's see what you've got to
less
say.
the nobles. But so our journey took us to the top of, I'm sorry, what was the mountain?
Thanato.
Thune? Thanato. We got up there. We actually followed the map that Edgar left us, and took the route that Edgar himself used to get to the top of Thanato. We camped there one night, and in the morning, upon further inspection of the summit, we discovered the entrance to an ancient ruins, where we came across a large group of ghouls.
There's gasps from the crowd, turning into screams. They start gasping as you say ancient ruins, and when you say ghouls, there's a scream and then wails of misery from the crowd. Kale calls out, "Order!" Prince Sigitas, is that his name? It is. Prince Sigitas is the eldest. He stands up and bangs his fist into the table a few times. And the crowd starts quieting down a bit. The guards kind of all instinctively shuffle a little bit.
And then there's quiet again.
There's quiet again. Please continue, Mr. Smith. Bishop.
We engaged with the ghouls. They were not as fearsome as one would expect. And we finally came across a chamber that had a large... It had a divine figure in it.
The Archdeacon stands up. there's shouts from the crowd. Now what? Divine figure. The Archdeacon kind of mutters across at you. Roll hearing, please, Archie.
I'm good at this. I'm good at this. By good, I mean totally average. Hey!
Hold your tongue, bastard.
Also, remember we both had got that defect, or not defect, quirk about that goddess of herself.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that's perfect. You couldn't have really said anything else. That were
Yeah.
great. But yeah, the Archdeacon says, "Hold your tongue, bastard."
But he like whispered it?
Yeah, he tried to mutter it so that the crowd wouldn't hear, and he did a good enough job, and you managed to hear it.
Well, I'll just pretend like I didn't hear it. And she had Edgar frozen inside a wall where he himself confirmed to us his demise, and she was presumably making him into another of the ghouls. And we proceeded to make haste to oh no, she disappeared, and we were able to have a private chat with Edgar, and he pretty much confirmed to us that yes, he was dead, and that she wanted the sword and she shouldn't get it. And we left and were sadly unable to recover Edgar himself. But we made to more hospitable climates as soon as we could and buried the sword as Edgar's effigy, as per his will.
At a few points during there, or rather, towards the middle of that section, they started getting louder and louder, the crowd, until finally, and pushing further forwards as well. And you ended up shouting to be heard over them in the middle. But then Ansgar, Pious Ansgar, turns and holds his staff up, and they all go quiet. And he turns back and he's looking you right in the eyes and listening intently as you finish it. The first person to speak is the king. So, there are indeed ruins atop the mountain.
There are indeed.
The king's always kind of squinting, and his vision is known publicly to be terrible these days. And he glares around, and he looks over at that pillar, the pillar that Katya has so loved to hide in the shadow of these past few weeks. And he says, "Didn't the lady Katya go with you? I recall. Where is she?
She did
She
indeed.
should be speaking.
She should, in fact.
Why was she not invited, Kale?" And Kale says,
I was, Your Majesty.
Please, Lady Katya. Approach.
You need to wait here.
Not. The two guards at the front step forward. They're part of Eric's highly trained mercenary band. Kale like just looking at you. No one is to approach the king unless ordered. Lady Catcher, you may speak. These ruins, were they marvelous?
They were remarkable, Your Majesty. The surface was mostly gone, but below ground, it was largely intact and beautifully decorated.
In my youth, I visited the ruins that Van now explores and resides in. They were beautiful. I've truly never seen anything like them.
Neither have I. I hope to return.
Of course.
Although obviously not this winter.
Of course. But we must return. Do you not think? He calls out. And the crowd of peasants shout, Yes! We must recover Edgar. We must fight the evil there that slaughtered him.
Oh, Edgar's gone, and I think the evil's gone too.
Someone cries out, If Edgar had had his sword, then he would have never been captured like that.
Edgar did have his sword when he perished and was taken.
Someone else shouts, Nonsense! The church lies! They hated Edgar for telling the truth. Kale shouts again, Silence! Court is in session. There will be a time for statements, but this is not it. More banging of gavels. The crowd surges forward in a huff again, and it's like everyone's heart's in the chest, but they get pushed back by a couple of people, and they kind of remain agitated, but Did you bring anything back, Lady Catcher? The king asks. Although, what am I asking? You are being pursued by ghouls. It's a miracle you're alive.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I don't have anything to show for ourselves.
I think that's kind of the truth, but semantics.
I mean, I'll roll the acting. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. There's a lot of observers here, though. At least one of the.
Oh yeah, I'm sure somebody will know.
I'm not even going to roll because there's enough people here. That I'm just going to choose the worst possible option for you.
The goal isn't to beat everybody. The goal is to beat enough people that if somebody starts talking, it might just be a rumor.
That's a good axiom. I like it.
Because really, somebody's going to start a rumor anyways.
Sigitas has also been pacing up and down, back and forth. Not in front of your Lady Catcher, that would
Sure.
Before. But he's definitely been pacing around over here, eyeing up the peasants angrily. He's a burly man. E2's fought in the east before. You never saw him on the battlefield, Archie, but rumor is that he is a demon.
Wait, who's a demon?
The Prince Sigitas, the eldest prince, who will be king next.
Meaning a badass, not actually a demon, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Have to ask these things when the church is involved.
Yeah, that's true. I apologize for my unclearness. Oh, that is a shame. We absolutely must return.
Arch, if you're watching Ethodar, her face is getting more and more uneasy.
The sword! Someone shouts from the crowd. The sword of Edgar! Where is it? Where? What have you done with it?
It is resting as effigy for Edgar.
Kale is over beside you now. He's been walking around and he shouts down. Edgar's will and testament is extremely clear in what was to be done with his sword. In the absence of his body, it having been corrupted by foul magic and evil, the sword was interned instead. You must cease your requests for it to be instated as a relic. They will not be fulfilled. The law is clear on this. The law of the country and the law of God. Archdeacon? And he steps up and says, yes. The testamentary laws are written in accordance with the law of Arate. You all verge on heresy in your comments. Seek not to burn in hell, people, but seek his light. There's a few boos. And what happens next kind of happens very fast.
Uh-oh.
Who's got combat reflexes?
I do not.
Katya does.
I do.
She also has a better than combat reflexes ability.
I should really take combat reflexes. These claws cost so many points.
I believe it. They are pretty badass, though.
I really should have made a character for this before, but that's fine. I can use Nathaniel. Whoop. Just some random old guy. You might have seen him before. That's just
Nice.
all those random old guys look the same.
It's ageist, and it's accurate for at least Katya. I mean, that could be botched as far as she's concerned.
Oh, they let botch it in. Wait, no. He's moving far too fast. Okay, so he's actually the slowest. But what happens in the turn preceding this one is the crowd surges forwards again. Pius Angna comes face to face with this guy into close combat range. Neither of them attack each other, but the guard instinctively brings his shield up, and the others do as well. The crowd throngs forward, but one person breaks through and runs forward, and he is holding a blade in his hand. A small, glinting knife. Lady Katya, you hear the commotion and the screams louder than before, and you hear people like yelling in pain now.
I suppose that's worth at least turning to look. So I suppose she'll at least take like one of her steps to sort of give the king an apologetic sort of. You don't just turn your back to the king without some kind of an apologetic lance of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll turn to look.
Archibald.
Archie is going to take a step forward. And we are going to... So with my right hand, I am going to fast draw, not my regular knife, but my long throwing knife. And this is to the torso at a -3. We'll make it all out for the make it -2. Ooh, I'm glad I did.
Potentially hitting him. He's going to try and dodge that. He's not got a great chance. He's going to spend an FP, though, because this is important to him. And he already knows he's about to die. Oh, he makes it.
We salute you.
I'll just GM check that. No, you're good actually. You're lucky, and because you were aiming down, you don't hit any of your companions or peasants. Etho.
I'm trying to remember. Move and attack is only half movement for all out, right? Or can you do a full?
It's only half move on the all out one. If you go all out, then you can move half your move.
Yeah. Okay.
But any further than that, and you're doing a move and attack that's also all out.
All right. So if that's the case, I am going to book it to right here, and activate my claw. Or yeah, claws get activated because counts as a non, like, it doesn't take a turn. It just happens.
Okay.
That's called incidental. I don't remember what it's called in GURPS.
Free action.
Yeah, free action. Thank you. I take a damage.
Sorry, reflexive.
Yes,
Reflexive.
there you go. Reflexive, and I take a damage.
His eyes fill with fear at the look of you running in front of him with your veiny popping arms. But he's yeah, he's got a mission. He steps to the side and he is gonna do the same thing that Archibald just did to him.
Oh no!
Oh, the knife leaves his fingers straight
I got a
towards
question.
the Archdeacon. Etho, you could technically parry
My
this.
my reach on my weapon is 2, and I can parry missiles as well.
I'm
Oh
gonna
wait,
start.
no wait,
I'll-
yeah, I can.
Can I parry his arm?
Yeah, that is what you'd have to do, Etho.
All right. What's the straight up parry?
Yeah. It's as he goes to flick the blade, you parry his arm.
Is this swing or thrust?
It's thrust. It'll be thrust.
Oh, sorry, that was a roll, not a hit. Damage. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, low damage.
It
Lowest.
still cuts through his flesh like butter, though.
You might still have an arm.
He does, but blood swells up on his pale tunic, soaking it instantly. Lady Catcher.
Etho, no! I think that's an action.
Archie. Oh, meanwhile, like the crowd was still pushing forward. Pius Anne's gonna actually drops to the ground, and the ones just behind him stop. But the guards are all still drawing the swords at the same time. This person actually gets jumped on by like 3 people.
Yeah, I think Archie's just gonna step there in his way, and we will. And I'm just gonna tell him, stop.
Etho.
I am going to remove my claw from this guy's arm and eye rake him.
That's
This
brutal.
doesn't gouge out. This doesn't gouge out his eyes or anything.
No, yeah, I'm familiar with an eye rake. He's gonna try a dodge. Which he fails. He actually
That's a cool technique.
backs into that guy too.
So I didn't use like the tips of my claws. This was total like, non remove his eyeballs movement because Katya just said no to me.
So, you probably do it with the reverse of the blades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the knuckles.
Nook.
It's still gonna hurt like a son of a.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my knuckles are pointier than my fingertips. They're not pointier than your fingertips, though.
No.
Yeah, you got him.
That's
no,
me.
No damage, right? It's what do I need to do? Oh, yeah, we do need to see damage that penetrates DR.
Which is pretty much all of mine.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen. Like, he screams in pain.
Like, here it is, 9.
Whoops. I didn't mean to GM roll it. He tries to pull a knife out quickly. His left hand reaches for his belt, but fumbles, and he spends the full turn pulling out another small glinting blade. Catch you.
Just knock him out. And she moves forward.
Oh, I feel like being blinded. Is that count as a major wound?
I mean, blinded is a very specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is just like blood in the eyes.
It'd have made it on the nose, even if it were Archie. He's got a knife in
I
his
think-
left hand.
Archie will do just that. He'll just step up here, and I'm gonna clunk him in the dome with the side of the sword.
Okay. Thrust
It's like-
crushing. Maybe thrust +1. Skull. He's blind, you can telegraph it.
Sure, I'll telegraph it, but I forgot to put the +4 in.
Good thing you telegraphed it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, you bonk him. He does not see it coming. Being blind and all. Ayo!
That was
Morning
thrust.
torment. 5 crushing damage to the dome. That'll come out as 12. Yeah, he's gonna drop. He cannot make a major wound roll at a -10. So he goes down like a sack of carrots. And we can end combat. The knife drops to a side. There's still a clamoring behind you, but
Oh yeah.
they all get pushed back, and most of them don't look like they were here to fight. Maybe just that guy. Ansgar is bloodied in the face and getting to his feet. Sigitas has
I will
drawn
look
his sword and
over
come
at
down here.
Etho and say, "Go get Boshit."
Don't know where he is.
Kale's just excellent work. Take this
To the
traitor.
physician.
What'd you say, Smith?
To the physician.
To the dungeons. There's a physician there for scum like him.
Okay.
He gets dragged away, leaving a trail of blood.
Thank you, Ethan. That was a really good job.
This court session ought to be terminated to the public immediately. Your Grace, will you issue this command? He's frowning. Looks like he barely registered what just happened. Sigitas with his sword drawn has walked up here. He He says, "You foul, foul miscreants, you've made a mockery of this royal palace. What would our ancestors say?" A few of them do look a bit ashamed. "You dare speak against the most pious voices of the kingdom? The archdeacon and this bishop who crusaded in the east, fighting a holy war, so that you might be in peace, knowing the heathens will not approach us."
So close.
Hmm.
He's so close.
"Order it, father." He looks up at him and he says, the king actually struggles to get to his feet. He looks way older, to say only 2 weeks have passed since you last saw him. There's just something more frail about him. He's lost a bit of weight, maybe. His hair looks thinner and grayer.
Oh.
He's checking out.
Maybe it's just because you'd been seeing him constantly and then a short gap. You're not sure, but he's definitely slow getting to his feet. And he looks kind of annoyed, honestly, at Sagittarius. And he says, "Yes, very well. But there was one final order of business. Sagittarius, you shall be going east with your brother... Cedric? Yes, Cedric."
I feel like that could have just been in character.
It could have.
Oh.
He's kind of gobsmacked. But then he says, "This council hearing is adjourned. We will reconvene on Monday at half attendance. I pray that you are in a sounder mind by then, my friends." And he sits down. And then the wider public is starting to get issued out. The Archdeacon goes back. Oh, no, the Archdeacon's probably walking forward to the blades on the floor. Let me just delete a bunch of tokens from this page. Alright, so where are we at? I'll just move the storm cloaks, lol. Eric's mercenary band off to the sidelines.
I think the guy who got stabbed and drug off to the dungeon isn't here.
Oh, that's probably a good point, yeah. You know what? I think it's time for a quick break anyway.
There.
So we'll be right back in 5 minutes. Sorry, Torment, and morning to Torment. Thank you for becoming a patron, by the way. Woo!
Oh, we have a Patreon.
Yeah, we do. We'll be right back in 5 minutes, but go become a patron in the meantime if you're not already. I suspect you are. We'll be right back. We are back. That was a couple of minutes longer than 5 minutes, as I was reminded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Timing! Timing!
Phrasing? No.
Pshaw.
So if you're just joining us, there was a huge commotion. This council meeting did not go at all well. People weren't particularly pleased with what Archie had to say. It was the truth, though, which is rare for people to be told, so... You know, what are they going to do? It's the truth.
I mean, claim that it's not the truth.
As the crowd surged forward in particular anger, a person managed to slip past the guards and produced a small but shiny throwing knife. He went to throw it at the Archdeacon, it looked like, but Etho managed to parry his arm, cutting deeply. He tried to draw another knife, but his eyes got raked. He was blinded. momentarily by Etho's knuckles scraping across his eyebrows and balls. Oh, my face balls. Sorry, metric time. Got me. What's the time right now? It is 17 Quantex. Sorry about
Was there any reaction to the lady stabbing a guy?
that.
The pretty lady in wolfskin stabbing a guy?
Not immediately, but now there is quite a bit of it. The guards have all kind of stepped back a bit now that the room's cleared, apart from the cool guys and Etho. They all seem to be eyes on Etho right now.
Your
Kale,
Majesties, may I introduce my companion?
he squints down. Is this your guide?
Yes, this is Etho.
He squints down at you.
I squint back.
Thank you for your service today. I am retiring to bed. Unfortunately, but Kale, keep me informed of the rest of this meeting.
As soon as he says thank you, the blood in my face just like drains and I go pale white.
He didn't notice.
I know he doesn't, but
A few
Other
people do.
Others, yeah.
And he will turn and be led out of the king's exit by a tight group of guards. The Archdeacon looks and slightly smells like he might have shat his pants. Good grief. Good grief. Good heavens. That man nearly killed me.
don't say fantastic. Mumbled to myself.
Smith, who is this girl?
It was just said, she is our guide.
I thought
And I do believe she saved your life.
I thought there were no natives in the north. I thought this place was barren aside from the Tove.
If anyone's got body language, I totally just twitched at those words.
Well, it seems
See-
they were wrong.
Where are you from? He asks you directly, Etho. He frowns at that and he's like, I don't recognize that language. It sounds Eastern, though. Smith?
Her Eldritch is not very good, and I have no idea what that language is.
Very peculiar. Regardless, now do you see, Smith, why these heretics must be eradicated? Matilda kind of is stepping forward now. She smiles at you, Katya.
Is that the
Returned.
one from before? From the
Yeah.
fort?
You met her
Okay.
in the Frostvale camp north of Rochelbourg. Besieged by a giant bear.
Oh, sorry.
Virus!
No, drinking tea or inhaling tea instead of drinking it.
Mmm. Taste it in your lungs.
Oh yeah, so good.
So good. Coughing's good, right?
Hey, don't get off unless you cough.
Got a cough.
That if we kill them, it will just inflame them more. And Katya, good to see you again.
Likewise.
I would have liked to have had a conversation with you before this. But never mind.
But I do agree, though. I mean, dealing with the mob is that's not the approach you want to take.
I concur.
Steger is walked up kind of behind Archibald. He's just like, I am somewhat disappointed I did not get to speak. But based on the local sentiment at the moment, I don't think they'd have wanted to listen to what I have to say.
And what is that? Archie actually asks with genuine interest. This is like the first interesting person that he's really met that isn't traveling companions.
Good save.
Well, we were going to announce news of my discovery. The spherical nature of the planet and how it travels around the sun in a circular motion. Day and night is caused by this ball we are on rotating. He pulls out a little copper sphere that dangles on a shiny silver chain. Etched on it, you can kind of make out the shape of islands. It's very finely crafted.
That's pretty.
Thank you. I commissioned it in the east after I had confirmed my discoveries. This is our home. This is Arate's orb. The whole of the world.
Quick question:
Go ahead.
do my people think the world is round, or do they think it's also flat?
I don't think you've really thought about it. I think you assumed the world just went on forever. In every direction.
Okay, so like an endless sea kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know that there's more land to the east, but then beyond that is just more sea again. And
Gotcha.
to the north,
Cool.
it just gets colder and colder and colder until you die from the cold.
Okay, cool.
And now you imagine that here, I am the sun. And he holds up his little sphere and spins it in his hand as it dangles from the chain. And then he rotates around, smiling, while he stares at his lovely little trinket. And he says, and you see, as it rotates and the sun smiles down on us, half of this world that we live on receives its light while the other half is in darkness. Hence the day and the night. This is how Arate made our world.
Well, that is very, very interesting.
You said you found proof?
Mathematical proof. Do you
What's
have
math?
any knowledge of astronomy?
No.
Ah,
Like when you look up to the sky and it tells you what things are like?
Oh, that's that star stuff where you like tell the future, right?
no.
Like signs and like constellations?
Yes, but they can be used as precise navigational tools. Seafarers in the east already use them to navigate in pure darkness over distances beyond eyesight. Our own seafarers have adopted these methods over the past few decades also. Using their measurements, and modifying them to look at our own sun, I was able to determine that it rose in precisely different places based on my location. I traveled far and measured these, and I devised mathematical algorithms, as I call them, equations that anyone can perform on any old abacus, and by looking at the sun will prove that this trinket I hold before me is real and we stand upon it, but its scale is so grand that only Arate could have crafted it. His throat chokes up as he gets a bit weepy. And the arch... I'm not getting weepy, I've just got smoke in my lungs. Ooh, a lot of smoke. And the archdeacon says, and as of yet, the scholars of the church have found no signs that this is heretic. We were preparing to announce it today as canon.
That's too bad. That would have been worth celebrating.
Of course, as we thought. To know that we are part of some grand, elaborate making of Arates that we could not even conceive of before. To have proof of it, measurable proof.
So what's the cord attached to?
He smiles. He says, aha, I believe there is no cord. But how our world remains suspended and beautiful, I do not know. By Arate's will, surely. I believe it has something to do with the extreme cold in the north.
I guess that makes sense.
Yep.
Itakacha.
I mean, that was a lie, but
The science
again,
checks out.
that is all very fascinating stuff, but we do have an issue with a giant mob.
Yes. Everyone's kind of agreeing. Cedric and Sigitas have been arguing a while. But they step forwards now. Everyone give me a vision check at -2, please. It's technically at -12 plus 10.
Make it immediately. Or on the nose, not immediately. I cannot talk today.
As you tug in Lady Katya, trying to get her attention there, you both look down and notice one of the knives that the attacker had dropped on the floor. It's tiny and it looks razor sharp. It's a strange design, but you notice it's got some kind of foul black tarry substance smeared along the spine.
That's probably not.
Itakacha.
yes, be careful about that. I think there's something on that knife. What?
We should take knife and go.
But we can't just take the knife.
It's same poison as bear.
So
What?
apparently, that poison has got the same, or that blade has got the same thing that happened to the bear.
You've got no reason to believe that, no.
Oh,
It doesn't look very similar, but it's just a foul, tarry black substance.
that blade curse.
I will take the blade.
Whispering to Katya, by the way.
I'm standing like a meter from you in a
And Katya
quiet.
pointed it out.
Okay.
But yeah, you pick up the throwing knife.
Yeah, I'll like wrap it in a cloth and tuck it away.
Poison, Kale says. Make a quick GM check, but why not? Seeger, is that his name? Steger. I recognize that. It's an eastern poison.
Sounds like more than just an angry mob.
Quite deadly in an open wound. You're lucky these were here.
Yeah. Do you need to talk?
And self.
I'll look to the princes to see what they've got to say.
Excellent work, Archibald. Pleasure to meet you again. And Sagittarius is just like, yes, very good. Well done.
Had help. I'll point to Etho and Katya.
Yes, where is she from?
Never quite figured that out.
I think somewhere up north. I'm not sure where.
That makes no sense. But it's not important. She saved the Archdeacon's life today, maybe the King's. She deserves a reward. Does she use gold? Does she trade in furs and meat? What would you take as reward?
Is she literally hiding behind Katya?
Yes.
Lady Katya, for a heathen, she is rather beautiful.
And you also know she trades in gold, Katya, if you wanted to speak in her behalf, because her mouth clamped shut.
Sure. You're very kind. I'm sure when she gets over her nervousness that she'll appreciate it. But she does trade in gold, and a reward will be graciously accepted. Yes?
Of
She looks
course.
back to Etho.
I make a head gesture of some kind.
I need to check my currency sheet again quickly before I accidentally give you £1,000,000.
I mean, I'm already sitting pretty flush with cash. I just haven't been spending it.
Well, you're about to.
Oh, yeah, you are. Catch's free ride ends today. Just in time for you to go to all the highest class clothes shops that Catchy knows.
Well, my current just money, I'm sitting at 3,500 gold and 115 silver.
All right, that's pretty flush.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
pretty flush.
Damn.
I sold a bunch of stolen jewelry.
You did.
Right.
From that vampire. And I have a feeling I'm about to get even more flush.
One gold is equal to $100.
Yep. I think a reward of 20 gold crowns ought to be sufficient. She's rather beautiful for a heathen, I must say, Cedric says. I hadn't noticed in the north on account of the furs and wrappings and grime from travels.
Actually, I'm pretty damn clean.
Oh, you mean generally?
Yeah, I clean obsessively.
Lick back of your paws.
Well, I bathe rather frequently. Whenever there's an opportunity, I take it. I even carry around soap with me.
Okay. Then yeah, no, he wouldn't have said that. But Sigitas would have remarked on your beauty for sure.
So did I just add 20 more gold to my pocket?
You did.
Okay.
Kale will make the arrangements. It'll probably happen like 5 minutes before you leave this place, but
For all intents and purposes, at it now.
Uh-huh. So, brothers, you're both going east, as father decided? Sigitas shakes his head violently. No, absolutely not. Cedric will go east as planned, and I will remain as planned. Father is out of his mind.
So you'll speak to him?
Yes, of course. He believes I need to go east to press on with the crusade. He also has grown paranoid that someone is out for my life.
If they're out for anyone's, it's the archbishops.
Archdeacon. But yes.
Sorry, archdeacons.
No worries. I agree, that was clear. Archdeacon, you should leave the city immediately. I'm sure our Bishop Smith can handle matters here from going forward. The Archdeacon says, the matters have hardly been decided yet, but I agree that I should leave today.
Finally, there is something we agree on.
Do you say that?
I do.
He just frowns at you. He wants to call you a stupid bastard, but it'd be a
bad move.
Yeah.
He currently has the high ground.
No.
Kind of.
Like, yeah, because I could totally just be agreeing right now that that's a wise plan. You should totally leave the city.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely the undertone of, hey, this asshole's leaving.
He sneers. It's like, matters are yet to be decided, but I shall communicate with you by Hawk, Smith.
I'm sure it'll be riveting.
That attacker must be interrogated. His motives must be questioned. But if the public continue to speak such heresy as they do, there can be no solution other than chopping off the head of the snake.
And that will only legitimize him in their eyes. It will make this problem worse.
Do you really think it's him that's causing them to be so bad?
He is their de facto leader. None of them, they all follow him blindly.
Should follow me. Mumbles.
Matilda speaks up again. She's like, but yes, as I was saying, I agree. Violence will only inflame them more.
I think Etho and I should definitely go have a chat with him.
You get the most "what are you talking about" look from me. From Etho.
And
But
from
she
the
doesn't
Archdeacon. And from Prince Sigitas. And from Kale.
And from Katya.
And from Eric.
Look, if we go down there and it's just us, we go and talk with them, if nothing else, we might get some insight, which gives us a better course of action than potentially just murdering them. Like, if it comes to it, I will be in the vanguard.
Wait, are you talking about talking to the group or talking to the prisoner?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about going down and talking to the group at their like warehouse.
Oh, they were talking about talking to the prisoner.
No, they
They were talking about the group?
he were saying that you should cut off the head, which is Ansgar.
Oh, okay,
But they
sorry.
understood that Archie were talking about Ansgar also.
Oh, sorry. I misunderstood.
No worries. Very well, Smith. I shall leave it up to your jurisdiction, as this city is. I will return to Weymouth, where the pious people of the old country still remain. But I warn you, you risk your life by trying to treat with these mad dogs.
I risk my life almost daily. And if it is holy work, then I gladly sacrifice.
Have a
He,
safe trip.
he looks skeptical, and as if he were about to say something, but then he snaps his eyes back to catch you, and then leaves.
Fuck you!
Oh, Sana.
You don't like that guy?
He's gonna make a fuss. It's not gonna
Like
be
if it was an actual if there were far less consequences, I'd have killed him already.
It's taking all my willpower right now not to murder a couple people in here.
Kale says, "The king is right. We must return to that mountain come spring,
No,
and I feel your guide will be necessary."
gotcha. No.
I think if you're gonna take Etho, you are going to need Lady Katya to be in charge. She knows it best. She's explored the ruins. She's a very capable and intelligent lady. Person.
Kale looks sympathetic. "Yes, I will, of course, press for this as well. Of course."
well. There will certainly be some time to decide the details, but sounds like a good idea to me.
Internal screaming.
"Yes," says Sigitas. "With a larger group capable of bringing back treasures. It's been too long since we found new weapons of the Tove."
Internal screaming.
Well, there honestly wasn't much in there, but we didn't get too deep, so.
They all kind of nod.
I'd be wary of bringing too large of a group, but I would certainly like to establish some kind of a camp so we can do more thorough exploration.
"How difficult is the summit?"
Quite
The climb is very hard.
"But if you were able to make it, lady, and didn't an ancient old man go with you?"
I mean, we mostly had to drag him up.
"Ah, very well, I suppose." "Yes," Cedric says, "yes, I saw the man. He looked like he weighed about the same as a sack of flour."
You're not wrong.
With him and his gear, I didn't go up to the next encumbered slot.
Seriously?
Well, I mean, by the time we were doing that, I was at the, let's see, I think...
That's fair.
By the way,
Yeah.
has 10
So-
minutes gone by since that fight?
when
yeah.
when we loaded up to do the climb, I was at heavy, which is 174, and then you tack him on, and it was like mine is 290.
beefy
So, like,
Archie.
I mean, I was going at 1.
But for climbing, that's not a huge deal.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
that's the speed you go.
So 10 minutes into this conversation, my arms deflate again. BTW.
Catch is probably the only one who'd notice, seeing as you're like gripping her.
She'll it's down, sort of concerned. Are you okay?
No! Can we go?
My friend needs a moment. Could we maybe finish this sometime later?
Of course, Kale says. But what will you do next?
I mean, for the moment, I'm grounded until my father arrives.
Of course. He looks upset again. He's like, body language, detect lies.
Sure.
Success by 5. He looks like he wants to say something to you again, but feels like he can't.
Oh, well, we're gonna go step aside, but I'll definitely be around later.
He nods. He's like, I'll seek you out, my lady.
Mhm.
The festival's arriving. There'll be plenty of time to talk. And your father won't arrive for another 2 weeks.
Just about, yeah.
And he nods, and everyone kind of says the final goodbyes to you and leaves. Stigard says that he's going to be sticking around in town for a while to Archie and says, I'd love to share a drink with a crusader sometime.
Well, I don't drink, but I would love to hear or sit and converse again, for sure.
Perhaps a smoke. I have the most marvelous pipe tobacco.
Sold, sir.
Very good. I shall seek you out at the cathedral, brother.
I will see you at the cathedral then.
And he kind of saunters off as well.
All right. Yep. I guess I'll go with Katya and Etho.
Your two friends in this entire country.
Yes, exactly.
Watch it.
Somebody was just trying to make friends with you.
Yeah, and he's gonna have a drink with me later. We're gonna be friends.
All right, fair.
Yeah, no, he's busy. He's got to take a dump. He had a big breakfast.
I mean, he said he was leaving and was gonna seek me out later. So yeah.
And then you saw him kind of like clutching his butt cheeks as he ran away.
Oh,
Classy, Luke. Classy.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. I made it so
he's not
far.
used to all the. He's not used to all this violence.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So-
we head back to your house, or
And no, we're gonna find a sort of corner somewhere. She's not gonna make you rage until we get all the way home. So Kati will head out this. We'll head up, basically up into the tower up here.
Okay. Pretty much deserted. You see a guard on the wall, like looking in towards the city.
hmm So what's going on?
the men can't go to the mountains. No.
Why?
They will see things no should see.
Like what we saw?
No.
And why was it okay that we went there?
Because you, Lita, and Donmir,
Well,
I
unfortunately, they're going. Like that's not gonna stop now.
then in 2 weeks we must go where you say you take me.
Okay.
must look at Katya, no matter
It's-
what people say.
It's not up to me.
You also know, Katya, like, that it'd be a month, really?
Yeah.
Because it'd be the whole festival, but I feel
Sure.
like you've been withholding this from Etho on purpose. I just felt
Yeah,
like it needed,
that's also true.
I felt like it needed to be said out loud.
Okay, so
Yeah,
maybe when
it's fair.
she says that, Archie'll be like, "Isn't it a month? Like after the
Well,
festival, right?"
well, it's 2 weeks till my dad gets here.
Well, yeah, but we're going after the festival. That's another
Mhm.
2 weeks. So
Katya!
look, they're not going for months. It's going to be months
Yeah,
until
they
they
can't
can
go.
go up there.
Nobody's gonna go there until the snows are gone.
Fine. I trust Lita, Katya, and Domir, Arch.
All right. So just
Great.
chill your rolls and enjoy the festival when it comes here.
So, are you up for some dress shopping?
Would it be more fun to go talk to the heretics and try not to get into a fight?
Yes, talk to Heretic. Then Lita, take shopping.
You seriously gonna talk to the heretics?
I mean, I can't think of anything else necessarily to do that isn't in line with the rector's awful, awful plan. Like, if you've got another idea, I'd love to hear it.
I mean, aren't these the ones that are like controlled by the magic sword?
The Sons of the Sword or whatever?
Mhm.
Yeah, I wanted to go talk to their boss.
I mean, they're not going to make any sense though, because they're all crazy.
Well, yeah, but at the very least we can, I don't know, like, I just don't want to, I don't want to have to kill them all.
Why would you have to kill them?
I just don't want to kill guys anymore. That's the Brock Samson quote, I'm sure.
Well,
Are they doing
I-
anything that warrants being killed?
that's the thing. The rabble they're causing and the church itself.
Penis Head wants him dead.
Penis head?
Vivid
That
image.
man looks like penis.
I mean, they just want you to honor the guy that they're worshiping.
Well, yeah, but
Like give him a holiday or something.
well, as a saint, and they want to exhume the sword, and I don't know about you, but I feel like that sword needs to stay buried.
I mean, I'm respecting his wishes, but it should really go to whoever rules the North.
King of the North.
Like it literally like lets somebody control the country up there, right?
What? Really? Yes?
What?
I don't know.
So just tell them that they have to go live in the frozen wasteland, like Edgar?
No, just tell them to chill out, and they will.
So if we have sword, they follow who has sword.
Right, but we're respecting his
I'm-
wishes.
Pretty sure they also kill and take swords.
I mean, they didn't do it to him.
Well, yeah, but they want the sword, and now that Edgar's dead, he can be a saint.
Why can't he be a saint?
Well, because we need his body for one thing.
That's not necessarily true. It's because he was a heretic. But you are hesitant to say it, most likely.
Yeah.
The person who has sword rule north. Stroking chin.
like stroking the nose of the wolf.
No, my chin, but it's like making
Yeah.
that like shaving sound. You're the like,
Hmm.
Silky soft face.
I mean, you realize that the king's not going to let anybody that's not actually in charge of the North have it, right?
Yeah.
of course.
Look, I don't know. I gotta
Let's
go
talk
to.
let's talk to them. Then we go dress shopping. Maybe talk take a long time. No dress shopping happen.
I mean, there's always tomorrow.
But yeah, let's go talk to him.
Hmm.
You recall the general location that you were told they were living in?
I'm sure from.
Go on.
No,
From the
you
rockets
go.
that's happening too.
You find it quickly because the building is draped in makeshift banners of the visage of the sword, and there's two of the roused rabble armed with their swords stood outside the doors to the old warehouse.
We speak Latin.
They're frowning at you, radar. They've got their hands on the hilts.
You
Uh,
really want to strike me?
The,
Just can you give us a moment? Catches gestures for the two of you to step away with her.
one of them turns and pushes the door open slightly and calls in, "Pious one, the bishop is here to see you." And there's kind of a bit of a commotion inside when he says that in there. He closes the door and stares at you and says, "You will be permitted to speak with our leader."
Great.
Itakacha, what you want? Before in we go.
One of the guards laughs. "You aren't going in. He's coming here."
She gestures for you to sort of step so that we're not talking right in front of the guards.
I'll move. Arch?
Yeah, I'll step in.
They just watch you.
What are you talking? What do you plan on talking about? Like, do you have a goal here?
I mean, I kind of want to see what Edgar taught them.
Also, tell about Will. Other things not said. Only talk sword.
What?
What?
You only tell what was about sword. Other things on Will. Yes?
Yeah, like you are the heir to Edgar's estate.
Could change things.
You want them to know
I
that?
I was actually thinking about doing that. That's why I said Etho and I go talk,
Mm-hmm.
because heir to Edgar's estate knew Edgar apparently pretty well.
Apparently. The door opens again, and Pius Ansgar steps out. It stays open this time, and you can see that there's just a few lines of the swords stood staring you down. Seems like they've got the beefiest of the members out to stand blocking the doorway.
I give a bored expression.
Ansgar smiles at you all and walks over. "How can I help you today, Bishop and my lady?"
Well, I'm here to help end the hostilities. And I would like your insight into what Edgar taught you.
So you can think of more crimes to charge us with.
Ugh.
No, so I can understand.
Edgar taught us all Arate's word. He taught us to read, he taught us the holy book. But he did more than this. Edgar performed miracles.
What kind of miracles did he perform?
He squints, he frowns, tightens his lips.
Look,
Before I tell you, I promise you it is the work of Arate through Edgar. It is not witchery, like the church would love to claim. It is not dark magic. It is Arate's hand, through his son Edgar, and the blade he wielded.
Okay.
This prophecy that Arate's son will come to Earth, or will come to the world and surface and bring everyone together, but it's not happened yet.
Okay. Prophet has yet to come.
So the church is adamant, but we feel it was Edgar.
And why? Why do you feel it was Edgar? Also, by the way, have you met with Etho here? She is the sole recipient of Edgar's entire estate.
Guncha.
Everyone can roll body language.
I'm not even gonna try.
Okay. If you succeed by Katya, he looks shocked. It's just like, ooh, what? But he manages to compose himself very quickly. And he says, so you're familiar with Edgar's miracles?
I make that gesture I make.
He shakes his head.
Edgar and I friends.
He smiles at that. Edgar was friend to all.
Edgar and I good friends?
He smiles and nods. Edgar will return to us. We are certain he is not gone. As it is written in his Lord's book. But he needs the sword. He can't return if he doesn't know where it is.
And if he need know, he ask close friend Etho if he come back. Not everyone should know where it is.
Although I'm pretty sure he said something about getting that sword as far away from him as we could.
You saying that out loud?
Actually, I think, yeah. Like, I think Archibald is looking around at you two like, wait. Didn't Undead Edgar tell us to get that thing away from him?
Just
He frowns and shakes his
Goddess,
head.
goddess of herself tried to take.
You
Then
mentioned
Edgar say, "Go away."
this divine being you mentioned before. You mean Arate, for there is no other, surely?
Goddess of herself.
She wasn't actually divine.
A woman living up there. So she is the one who killed Edgar.
I mean, she had some kind of powers.
A witch?
And
Or a creature of some sort.
No, a demon, surely.
She says Edgar wife.
Or the devil himself. Wait. Wait! He stops suddenly. And he's actually, like, reaching forward to grab your shoulders if you don't stop him.
Who,
whose
me?
shoulders?
Yeah, Etho. I'm worried he's going to get himself killed, but he's doing it.
I'm getting ready to stab him in the gut. He's giving me proper opportunity, but yeah.
Wife.
She say.
Does that mean something to you?
He looks distraught. He looks terrified. He is not able to mask it at all. You see his will snap, and he changes from the confident cult leader that you saw to a terrified child as he drops to his knees and starts crying.
What did we
Well,
do?
that solves that.
So
Um,
it's true. The wife
What?
is real.
Goddess of herself? Met
I
her.
mean, ish.
lady.
Not super real.
yeah, who? Goddess? Wife? Wife?
Edgar told a parable. Of course, it all makes sense now. The story he told, all of us, every one of the swords heard this story from Edgar. Of a young man traveling in the mountains who came upon the ancient Tove ruins. In it, he found a jewel, the most beautiful jewel he'd ever seen, shining, letting off light in complete darkness. The man took it to give to his love. But as he did so, the glow left and it turned dark and dull. He was a long way from home, and by the time he got back, his wife was on her deathbed. Sickness had taken her. He gave her the gem, but it was too late, and she was not happy with it. She became enraged. Death failed to take her, and she took it instead. She killed the man then and fled. She left his village in flames. Devastated. Only the man survived, and the gem cracked and now black. And then he chokes again and throws up violently.
Take a jump back because he's still at my feet.
Yeah.
Oh, Jatanayo!
He's retching, like dry heaving, and he wipes his mouth.
I'll look up at one of the guards and be like, "Can we get some water here?"
They're also kind of looking a bit distraught. They bite in the lips.
I'll do the like military thing. You soldier, get water.
He reacts instantly. You spotted the right guy. And he runs back and comes back with a big pitcher of water, hands it
Brown.
straight.
So what manner of monster is she?
She is a demon from beyond that took over the young man's lover.
Sounds like her.
It used her mind to warp its own way into this existence. It is all foretold in his books. Look and you will see, Bishop.
These
Seek the
books were
oldest
written-
texts.
By Edgar?
No, by Arate himself. You yourself should know, you're from the east. Read the oldest texts.
Can you take me to them?
The cathedral stores them.
Ah, even better.
And he's getting shakily to his knees. I must address my flock.
Hey, unthing.
He looks at you.
Lean down to him and go, no more fight. No more loud unless you want bad things happen. Huh?
His eyes are glazed, but he smiles. Not sinister, more like he's part of some really funny inside joke that he just remembered. And he nods slowly. Says, no more fights. No.
Good.
I hope the sword is well buried. He says to you, Archie, as he stands up and puts his hand on your shoulder and leans in close to whisper that, actually. So I would like a hearing from Katya and Etho. Although I suspect that Archie would tell him anyway.
Maybe not. You never know.
Yeah, you
By
hear
four?
what he says. You're still right next to him, but he's whispering it specifically to Archie. I
It's-
hope that sword is well hidden.
It's interred properly.
More than you know.
He nods and turns, and they all enter the building, even the guards that were outside.
That went really well.
Yeah, actually, that went even better than I anticipated.
There is sick in my shoes.
Well,
there's a
let's go
river
get
right
let's go get
there.
you some new shoes.
Also, there's a river right there.
New shoes. New shoes. Sorry.
She
I will
still wa-
actually wipe my shoes, dip my feet in the water, and go, oh, cold, and then get out for a second later.
It
Is she
very
still
cold.
wearing the blade shoes?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, actually, those are things that you tie onto the shoes. So actually, probably not, because Kachi told her not to wear those. So okay, just my shoes got ruined. My
Sorry,
Still gross.
I'm in the middle of an epic stretch right now.
fine.
I've become a
If
cat
choice,
for this stretch.
if choice, go to church with Och and read old things, and dress shop with Lita, Katja. Dress shop, go.
I mean, we need to get you at least one dress before tonight. Otherwise, you aren't going to be able to go out.
Jataneo.
So I
Come on, it'll
imagine
be fun.
is the next stop back to Katya's home?
I suspect just actual like dress shopping. I imagine there's a tailor somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
Mhm.
All over the wine quarter. There's definitely your favourites, but you also wonder if there might be some that are better for Etho. I believe you have fashion skills.
Also,
Mhm.
all my clothing is actually hardened leather, so that's the only place I'm getting my armor from.
That's awesome. All right, so that's fair. Well, out of character, I don't want to ruin your armor.
If you tell her to wear a dress, she'll do it.
It's still very cold. You could get away with like a big fur number, you think? It should just be fashionable. Like you had this option before when you were in the jumble market of furs in Rochelbourg.
Fair,
But
fair.
now you're in like the
I mean,
Selfridges.
how extreme is the armor that you would be losing?
I mostly twos.
Okay.
Sure. 'Tis now. Wait till you've got yourself an AT field.
The only place that I have better than a two is with my cloak that I wear. My entire back hide gets it's a total of four, or
Yep.
Thick leather.
We could always try to find someone that can make you look nice and be armored.
you.
You are pretty wealthy at this point.
And
I
there's some real good options for that as well that you know of, Katya.
I shrug and go, "Don't understand how much worth." I take out my bag and kind of shake it.
it it looks heavy. It's like one of them ones that you see occasionally in Skyrim that is just bulging out the screen.
It currently weighs gold. It's actually not that heavy. Okay, no, it's pretty decent. It's 2 pounds.
Yeah,
2 pounds of gold is a
Oh,
lot.
yeah, that
sorry,
sounds
not two
right.
pound. No, that point. At the weight you have it at, Luke, it's actually a half a pound.
A half pound. That yeah, in coins, that's like a lot.
Mhm. But yeah, we can definitely try to find you. Let's find you some good clothes.
Your wish is my wish.
I were waiting for my command. Like,
You could
sorry.
do something like that.
So clothes shopping montage.
Indeed, I think this will be a
80s
montage,
music. Boom,
and
boom,
I
boom.
suspect the end of the montage is us sort of realizing that she doesn't want to say that she doesn't want to give up her armor, but it is a problem. Like things, Katya suggests things and asks what she thinks and asks her to tell her what she actually thinks.
Eventually, she'll probably just hand it over and go, "No, protect," and show you my current
Exactly.
breastplate.
So I think the end of the montage is giving up on the dressmakers, but Katya thinks she might know someone we can talk to tonight.
An armorer and fashion designer.
Kind of.
But while they montage that, I think Archie has his own little montage in the.
Research roll.
Yeah, if you've not got research,
Research.
I will take theology -4.
Can I get a few scribes to assist me?
You know what? You can. What are we
Plus
looking for,
library
my
bonus.
lord?
You're literally in charge of
Uh,
these guys.
In the oldest text, we are looking for any mention of wife, the wife.
They all
or
kind
any
of
mention
look
of
a bit confused.
demons.
Demons. There's plenty in the oldest text on demons.
Well, see if you can't find any of those texts that mention the wife.
Fewer and frown. We can think of nothing off the top of our heads, but we shall research immediately. We shall split the load. A few of them start like mentioning yes, and they
Yes.
like help you out by directing you to the oldest texts known chronologically.
Okay,
Give me a straight up IQ
So-
check, please, at this point.
not just straight up theology.
IQ first. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You recall him telling you to, or saying that you were a crusader, that you'd been to the east. And wow, look at that theology roll.
And so specifically, maybe ask for Eastern texts.
You come up with it yourself.
Right.
It's you all start reading, and they kind of choose the classic ones that have always been read from the old kingdom.
Okay.
But then you're like, no, older, the Tove, and the Tove when they were in the east, because those texts had actually been translated by the Keem.
Ah, beautiful.
And so you would find out the looted Keem translations of the Tovian texts.
And I can read it.
Yes, you can.
Great. So I'll start going
Read it.
through and see if I can't find anything.
There's a lot to read. Roll me 3d6, please. Just this is a luck check, if anything. In fact, no, that's not how it should be done. I should make a GM check. And what is
But
the
you did
first?
just remind me. I forgot to do my damn. Oh, did you really set this up?
Did I really set what up? Is there a macro? I do recall setting up some macros.
Nice.
Oh, the language macros. Yeah, those
What
should
do
work.
those do?
Those are
Yeah, if you roll it and you can speak that language, then you'll be able to whisper to each other.
Oh, neat.
Because
But I also set up 1d6, 2d6, and 3d6 macros,
Mhm.
and I just keep forgetting to do that.
But yes, you start reading, and you kind of feel like you're on the right track. You know for a fact that these are the oldest, and it's all the word of Arate. You know, it's like it's very, very granular and clunky, but it's like a seed of the story that is the oldest texts.
Okay.
And occasionally you're walking over and you're comparing certain details when you come across a story you recognize. You're speaking with the other scribes who are reading the corresponding books.
Okay.
And you don't come across anything after the whole rest of the day searching. But you do feel very much like you're on the right track. There's just so much to read.
Okay. Cool.
so maybe a few more days or weeks of just hounding the library, and you'll have something.
Pretty much. There is one other scribe here who can read Keemtani. Not as well as you, but passably. And he's working on translating that into Eldresh. This is going to be a really bad translation.
By the way, one of your what do you call it? Names for your translating of things is wrong. It's Itani for that language I speak.
I only didn't add the. I didn't add yours in particular because you can accent to the other one. But I should rename it before you ever speak it.
Yep.
Because it gives things away. Good point. Don't do it on stream.
Don't do it on stream.
Too late. I already opened it, but
You already did it. Oh man.
it's,
I'm gonna pause on that exact frame.
fraction of a second. No one's gonna do that.
Well, now that I said it, everyone's gonna do it.
How long? What time is it right now? 2 hours 26 minutes. I'll edit it out. We've digested.
Anyway,
If you're
We
a
have.
recent joiner, but if you've watched Shards of the Void, you ought to know what digesting means. James coined it by getting his words done wrong.
No, I always did that on purpose.
I'm getting called out in chat.
Yes. Oh. But no, that was a choice. That wasn't me. That was actually a choice.
It's hard not to. I do it at work, and I'm pretty sure people just think I'm talking about my bowels.
or you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's probably more likely that they just think I'm a massive idiot.
Anyway,
Ugh.
so I assume the night ends and we all
Yeah.
get to our place.
No.
No.
No. Archibald is not staying there.
Archibald is probably still reading.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be reading till he falls asleep in the library.
I get measured in pokes and
So the night seems to end, and then you're woken up in the middle of the night.
oh, sorry. What?
Come on, Etho, it's time to go. I told you, we're gonna go talk to some people.
Your wish is my wish. Sit up.
Mhm.
Scratch my butt and start going to the.
It's a little
Oh, I-
odd that she leaves via the window.
I mean, we're both good at climbing.
Oh yeah, I mean, she doesn't even mention it, but
I
yeah.
don't get to
Way
roll this
outside.
often. I don't get to roll this often, so I'm gonna roll it now. Boop. I don't even climb down.
Nice.
Sick.
So I do superhero landing.
Knees shatter.
Hard on your knees.
Actually, I do superhero landing, then roll.
Yeah. It's you can fall from any height as long as you convert your downward momentum into horizontal momentum.
Things you know if you take parkour, which I parkour because I'm an awesome, but I haven't parkoured since the fires. Anyway,
You could fall from space as long as you roll an equal distance when you land.
technically, if you had legs of steel, that's kind of true, but no.
We must invest
Anyway.
resources in steel legs.
Nice. So the first 3 or 4 hours of the evening are basically sort of bar hopping with sort of minor nobles. These are less the stuffy nobles you saw at court and more the ones that are swapping war stories and boasting about cool things they've killed, like hunts and stuff like that. They probably react to your blades less shocked and appalled and more those are cool. If all of that checks out with the GM.
That absolutely does check out with the GM. You would notice shadow cat capes, pelts made of that same skin of the beast that attacked you, and you slashed its belly open. Probably overhear someone bragging about how he managed to kill one. When you slashed one's guts open in 2
All right,
seconds.
if they start talking stories, I am one-upping all of them.
Kachi would get attention as she enters. This is not the same place as you visited last night?
Probably not. No.
No, yeah. I think, oh, milady, it has been a while.
It has, but we're looking for the crowd. Are you talking about the bar or the the thing that happens after the bar.
He smiles. Both. Side note, what happens after the bar?
Sorry, I was very out of character.
No.
I'm confused as to what place we just walked into. Or are you referring to the bars?
Yeah.
The bar hopping stuff,
Oh, okay. No, yeah.
or the sort of underworld stuff that we were going to do afterwards?
No, the bar hopping stuff.
Fair.
These people don't go to court much, but they know you.
Mhm.
But they also know you've been
Fair.
away. Are they being coy? My apologies about your return from the journey.
Fair enough. Yeah, we just got back in actually. Etho up there was my guide up there actually.
Surprised you're alive, such a skinny lass. And
I arm wrestle anyone here. Clump.
with those razors on your hands, I think not.
Foot wrestle.
It's like guffaws. Like, I'll give you a leg wrestle. Someone walks over with meaty, inhuman thighs.
I
no
mean,
one leg wrestles.
Just, I love
Okay.
that song.
But if Katya's loosening up in here, Etho is gonna
Absolutely.
follow suit and just lean into this. This is Etho's scene.
Mm-hmm. You actually, like, these people like you. It feels strange. You didn't know that they were nice people in this city. You thought they were all like the people on the streets and the guards.
Jackasses. I mean, I think alcohol starts getting bought for everyone. I'll probably spend like
Absolutely.
Has anyone got carousing?
Yes.
I don't drink, but I will buy everyone else booze.
Oh, you're very popular.
I'll spend 2 gold on this.
Ah,
Wow. Everyone's getting sauced. Catch is
Yep.
telling the best stories, winning every drinking game.
Definitely 2 gold. I just spent 200 on this bar.
suddenly you have new friends.
Yep.
I have a lot of friends.
I mean, there's a lot of already rich people here, but getting drinks handed to them is, you know, it's about the only privilege left in the lives.
And if it's warm, if I assume it's as warm it is, the wolf skin will come off, and they get to see me in all my sarong and bustier glory.
Yeah, there's a lot of lecherousness, I'm sure. But they're mostly respectful because of your claw hands that still look terrifying. And your agility, because I'm sure you've been up on tables and dancing around and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing like actively being armed to keep their hands to themselves. Mostly.
Yeah, the fights do break out, but fist fights at least between rowdier nobles who you've already drank under the table. Get thrown out by the hefty bartender.
And as people start to get thrown out, that's sort of about the time that it's probably a good time to wrap up the night. How are you feeling, Etho?
Good. Like side you. Of you.
Mhm.
That right?
Side of me? Yeah, this
Oh.
is. I'm not entirely sure. Katya is still holding her wine glass. But we need to find you some clothes. Come on, I know a guy.
Ugh.
It's like 3 a.m. at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She just thinks we're going back to the dress shop. She doesn't know what time these things open or close.
It's fair. And we will swing by what is hopefully a sort of black market, like armorer type thing.
Where are we in town, by the way?
Right now you would probably be in the. You're not inside the walls.
Okay.
Probably north of town, north of the fish quarter.
Okay. So like
Maybe.
right up
Oh
here.
no. You're actually not very far away from the warehouse.
Oh, okay.
Probably on this street here was where the tavern
Cool.
is that you were in. Kind of, yeah. Between Saltgate and Winegate.
So we
Mhm.
don't need to worry about actually like buying the things. I'll do that in between
A-
sessions.
Absolutely, yep.
Mhm.
This is more about describing the flavor stuff.
Yeah. And I'll totally let Katya take full control of the aesthetics of it.
Katya's actually trying to not do that.
The place is
She's
dark when you arrive. But go on, sorry.
Katya will do a few knocks and hello.
There's like this the sound of a crow disturbed by your voice on the roof that flies away. And then you think you can make out grumbling on the other side of the door, and you see a flicker through the thick, misty windows. And then the door opens, and a very elderly man with the thickest wrists you've ever seen just like frowns at you and says, "Lady Katya, this hour."
Hello. Yes, I was looking for a tailor.
He yawns. He says, "Oh, you ought to be coming in then, didn't you?"
Thank you. This is my friend Etho. Uh, we're actually shopping for her. Well, both of us, but mostly her.
He nods. Uh-huh. He's heading over to a stove in the corner. It's a big, dusty workshop with just a couple of big benches and stools and lots of leather contraptions, they almost look like. Laced and form fitting and in lots of pieces that look like they fit together on a mannequin seamlessly.
So what I want is something that you're happy with that will fit underneath something that I'm happy with. That way you can wear like a court dress if you need to, but you'll still have your stuff.
He finishes
Uh,
lighting the fire in the stove and puts a big kettle on top of it. Sorry, I
And
thought.
again, we don't have to work out the details here.
Mm-hmm. He pulls out a bunch of big rolls of paper. Well, parchment,
Mhm.
spreads them out. They've clearly been drawn on and erased lots of times already. There's like holes in a couple of them.
Right.
And he pulls out a big pencil and starts like looking over at Etho, yawning. He turns up all the lamps in the room and starts kind of sketching a figure vaguely. He's like, "May I take measurements?"
ugh. Yes.
He smiles. He actually does it by holding big pieces of paper up against you rather than like
The measuring
with the tape
lines
measures
we were
that the
going
other
for.
tailors did. Yeah. He takes the big sheet and he holds it up to you, and as he sketches around against it, he's like smiling and nodding as he's doing it. The kettle starts whistling, and he makes hot drinks, offers tea to you.
I will gladly
you.
take tea.
Mm-hmm. Herby, rooty, very earthy, but strong and definitely juices you briefly. You are starting to feel a bit tired at this point, for sure. And after about an hour, maybe two, of measuring and drawing and erasing with a big knife that he uses to scrape the pencil off the parchment, and then going back and doing it again, he nods and shows you a bunch of pictures. And
I like it.
yeah,
What do you think?
Yes. She kind of half looks at it.
he just rolled pretty well.
great. Um, I suppose half up front and half upon completion.
He nods and smiles, and he says,
All right.
"She's a small girl. It will cost." Blah, 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 blah.
And I will hand Katya the bag of money.
She'll pull out the correct amount and give you back the rest. All right, then let's get some sleep. I'm kind of crashing.
Yes.
He scratches his chin and says, 2 weeks.
Perfect. We'll definitely still be in town by then.
He smiles and nods.
All right, to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that's what's happening, Izo is probably going to end up in the same bed as you.
Katya's not super bothered by that, largely because she's tired.
Mm-hmm. I bet those claws are cold, though.
Actually, no, they would be absorbing heat really well once we get inside.
Same bed is fine. The cuddling, she does back away from. So we're not trying out the claws.
We'll never know. We'll never know if the claws are cold in bed. Thank God.
It depends on what happens when they both sleep in the night, because Etho is a grabber. But
That is fair.
Surely you've heard of my condition, night slashing.
That is fair.
Well, I think we can fast forward a little bit here.
a couple weeks, I think,
Mm-hmm.
do the more of the guard staff. Oh, there goes Archie. Does the staff have any rumors the next day? Just wondering.
Oh God. My roll 20. It burns. Rumors.
Just finding them in bed together.
Oh, I see. Roll me hearing. You might overhear some goss. Whew.
Boop, boop. Pretty darn good.
Yeah. You hear someone saying, Lady Katja and that Etho in bed together. I saw him, I swear. And someone else says, like, so what if they were? It's hardly like they could do anything. You hear a sound or like someone mashing the fists together. And everyone's like, what? She's got blades on her hands. She could cut the poor girl to shreds, to ribbons. It's like, I imagine she takes them off to sleep. And then they've walked past the door. So yes, they definitely know that you were asleep in the same bed. And they're talking about it.
But yeah, we can skip a couple weeks. I don't have anything else.
You would receive a letter the next day from the... Not you two, sorry. Archibald would receive a letter the next day from the Archdeacon saying he'd returned to Winemouth safely and wanting to know what the situation was, if they'd revolted yet and been slaughtered.
I'll just write a note. The problem is solved, but you should stay in Winemouth for safety still.
And remember, it's unsafe to travel during the festival.
Or maybe not problem solved. Maybe just like solution being worked out. Stay in Winemouth.
He doesn't respond for another 3 days. You've been poring over the ancient texts, and you've come across several stories about jewels. particularly jewels that Arate blessed and gave to people.
Okay, but nothing about demons.
Nothing about demons yet or wives. But the description of these jewels in a couple of the stories sounds a lot like the glowing jewel of the story that Ansgar told you.
All right, I will note those down and get the scribes on looking for that shit.
Mm-hmm. Scribes are updated. Reading continues.
Like, yeah, I think just for like 2 weeks, that's generally how it's gonna be. Like, come across something, you know, close to what we're looking for, or similar, and just like, yeah, jot it down and be like, hey, find this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They enjoy it. They've not really been tasked with work properly. They
A
kind
long time.
all they get to do really is pray. And they're enjoying this interesting study. They like the scholarly aspects of it, what being scribes and what have you.
Yeah, they're probably like, man, how is it this guy's doing that? He's like ordinarily intelligent.
Stiga would come and see you with a pungent pipe weed that makes you lightheaded almost immediately, and you have giggling fits.
Awesome.
It makes your face all warm, and you feel like happy and at rest. And
Actually, maybe I like bounce some things off of him, like, you know, see if I can't get him interested in what I'm working in.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, he starts off immediately questioning when he sees the library that you've got unraveling. He sees that there's Keem texts spread everywhere, and he's like, "Oh, amazing! The translations of the Tovians. I had no idea the cathedral held such treasures. I thought they'd been destroyed in the crusading."
Some stuff survived, thankfully, but
Mhm. And to think
you
it
know,
made its way all the way back here.
yeah. Well, the church does that.
You've actually got it open at a section on one of the gems. And he says, "Oh yes. The stones the Eastern philosophers use to channel their gods is heresy, of course."
I'll hand him like an empty notebook. Just be like, hey, this might actually be pretty important. Like, put it in the book.
He nods and smiles and starts scribbling things down. He's like, "I'll write you a translation. It's a pretty common passage here."
Like, and anything else that you can think about that might be related somehow, like, use the book if you need it.
He nods. He's like, "Fascinating. You
You
think
made a good friend.
you say you saw ghouls and some being in them ruins?"
Yeah, and I think that being was actually a demon that is gone by the name of Wife. The Wife,
God of herself.
God of herself, is what's Etho is calling her.
That's what she called herself.
Oh, that's what she called herself. That's right.
He looks quizzical. It's like drawing on his pipe for a while before he realizes it's gone out. That's the only problem you've found with this tobacco, is that it does not burn like pipe tobacco. Ought to. Needs to be constantly relit. And he says, the wife, no. But you talk of the ghouls. Do you know they're a common phenomenon in the East, the Far East? How far did you go in the crusade?
All the way to the Vanguard.
But not past. You
Not
didn't
really.
venture into Zoan. And no,
I wouldn't have, right?
no, no.
No. No.
He says, wait, what the piss were I just saying?
Have you ventured into the Zoan?
But before
Yeah.
that, what were you talking about immediately before that?
Not the wife, but
Not the wife. But the ghouls.
the ghouls. The ghouls.
They're
Common
common in the East.
They are
Phenomenon.
a common phenomenon in Zoan. You know they have Tovian ruins there too, obviously. That is the reason for the war.
Yeah. Obviously. So, ghouls are common phenomenon, and it has something to do with the wife?
No, the philosophers say it's because of the magic that the Tove wielded. The church calls it Arate's will. They believe they were more in tune with God.
See.
But the Easterners think that there was a whole range of gods who gave the people magic. Because the gods cannot fight each other. They can only make humans fight on their behalf. Of course, it's all heresy.
Of course.
I like that he adds that just so he doesn't get murdered.
Yeah, he's like shaking his hands quickly. Of course,
Like,
as well,
that's just what they believe. That's all they believe.
but they say that the magic that was wielded before was strong enough to linger in these places somewhat.
Huh.
It does strange things to living beings that are left there. Of course, it's a hot place in Zoan. And so, most bodies are turned into dried, shriveled, leathery things. What
Yeah,
were
ours
the
were
ones in that
frozen.
snowy mountain like? Yes. Frozen.
Frozen. Yeah, frozen solid. Which makes sense.
He nods. It's fascinating. I would love to visit this place.
Well, we're getting an expedition ready for the spring.
But what I am getting at, I think, is that the first worshippers of Arate saw him as a king among gods.
Obviously.
They referred to those other gods as demons.
Well, I definitely... I definitely don't know that she would be considered a demon, but she was definitely more than human.
Was she beautiful?
Stunningly.
Keep reading your texts. There is a story. You will come across it soon enough. And then he's like, does a massive yawn and stretch and says, I think I go back to the tavern I'm sleeping in.
Well, I will be here for a while. How about breakfast tomorrow?
He points outside at like that dawn is rising. You didn't realize that it visited you in the middle of the night because you'd just been awake reading still.
Okay, then I'll be like, how about breakfast now?
And he nods, and I feel like you go to breakfast.
Wonderful.
I am running out of steam a bit. We've only just been going 3 hours, but
Come on.
I didn't get a nap
Let's
in
get to-
today.
Let's get to Katya's father if we can.
Mhm.
I want to see this. It's going to be hilarious. But if you need to stop, you need to stop. I've just been driving on it. I've been looking forward to this session all week.
Sorry. The days will pass.
If Katya keeps letting her, Etho will continue to sleep in the same bed.
Katya does not actually. Like after that first morning, it was sort of a, we can't. You need your own room.
Well, you'll be finding her with breakfast every morning.
Mhm.
On the foot of your bed.
And that's totally fine.
There's a big difference.
Katya does a few times over the course of the couple weeks, though, say that she wants to go and talk to some of the princes and princess, and she knows you don't like them.
So she will not join you. But she'll wait at the gate for you. Of the keep.
Fair. The last thing is, I don't know how Ethan's going to interpret it, but I'm just going to tell you what Katya's actually doing at night, so you can frame it in your mind how she sees it. Katya is casing guest houses. So basically, some of the richer areas in town, like after the bars and such, we wander those areas.
Oh, so you're just taking her on these adventures now. Okay. Yeah. She'll join
I mean,
you.
she's kind of accepted that she's not going to be able to ditch you all the time. I
She'll
figure.
gladly screw with people.
I figure the first few times Katya may or may not ditch Etho, but Etho's a pretty sharp person. We'll figure out when Katya's
Yeah.
leaving.
Mhm.
You probably one night just find her next to you, just like what we do.
And if Etho recognizes the whole stalking prey thing and then identifying, oh, she's interested in the empty ones, and
Oh yeah.
she's basically doing the groundwork for potential burglary once rich people get into town for the festival.
Nice. I like her more and more.
She's a freaking thief.
Rich girl's gotta get her kick somehow.
That's why she's my Lita.
I'm going to find out what that means someday.
Just then, civilization ends as quickly as it began.
Fair.
So, a slow collapse over thousands of years?
Yeah.
All
No,
right, so 2 weeks roll by.
2 weeks roll by, and there may be some scenes I want to flash back to next week.
I believe probably Archie and us all like hang out every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Archie, you definitely make some revelations. I'm too tired to properly articulate them right now, so we'll
Yeah,
save
'cause
those revelations for next week.
Actually, like, it's mostly just 2 weeks of me reading, right?
Yeah, after 6 days, you come across a story that you find very important, but then you spend another 7 days piecing that together with fragments of other stories.
So
Yeah,
that realization
honestly,
is gonna happen
I
right
don't
then.
think, like, other than that random trip for breakfast, like, I don't think Archie has left the cathedral. Or
Okay.
probably even really that room. Like, I think for like 2 weeks, Archie just fucking disappeared.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys come to the cathedral at some point.
Yeah, I was going to say at some point we probably do drag you out, if for no other reason than for a bath.
Yeah, Archie's holed up in a small room, smoking.
The plan was lunch, but then we got there and the plan turned to bath.
and Botch's probably just disappeared into. He gets his stuff back, and he just disappears into his kit.
Oh yeah, his stuff would have arrived by then, and uh-huh. I think he probably spends some of the money that he's earned on a little
Yeah.
space to set up a full-time alchemy lab.
Like, honestly, I say you just text him and be like, "Hey, you had 2 weeks with your stuff."
Yeah,
No, it'll just be like, okay, how many grenades do I have?
Right. What is that mysterious liquid?
Bellows
Like-
sept by accident. Improperly
But-
stored alchemist's fire.
Also, during the day, I will dress in Katya's crappy clothing that she has for me.
Okay, so
Thank you.
gone to the almanac.
Mostly she insists that you wear the clothing if we actually go to court. Like walking around the streets and stuff like that, so long as you're not like in the actual bikini, that's fine.
Okay.
It's pretty much too cold to be wearing that bikini.
Unless it's a wild party at night.
Yaha, indoors.
Well, and then it's totally appropriate.
There is a lot of snow. It gets pushed aside and it melts a little bit in the city proper, but there's a good 12 inches of snow.
After what we
Damn.
experienced.
But it falls gently and just keeps rising over those 2 weeks. Makes the whole city bright and clean at first, and then as the roads just become black slush, it's disgusting. And the
Yeah.
ice patches make it treacherous to walk around for everyone except for you two. And Archibald doesn't bother leaving the cathedral.
Yeah, I think he eventually pops out and he's like, "Wow, there's snow on the ground."
There was snow on the ground when you went in, but okay. There is a lot more
Like
now.
more
right.
snow and
Yeah. It probably didn't properly settle on the city streets before, but
hmm
now it definitely has. Occasionally people just like push a load off the roofs so they don't cave in.
That's true. The snow probably makes the sort of classic thief running across the roof trope not work, or a lot more dangerous.
For most people, that's probably true.
Fair.
I would have made a point to at least talk to each of the servants in earnest, just shooting the shit with them during this 2 weeks. Just a side note.
Okay, yeah. They are nervous of you, but they definitely open up quickly. They like the way that you speak to them because it feels so much less formal when they're addressing their employer.
And each of them probably got a little money off me just because they were nice.
Oh. Yeah, everyone loves money. The city gets busier over those 2 weeks as people arrive for the festival. Lots of
Yep.
decorations start getting put up all through town. There's the seasonal smells arriving in the streets.
Okay, question.
Sweets and cakes and what have you.
Any of these decorations or like tropes seem familiar to anything I usually do this time of year?
You as in terror.
No, I as an etho.
Yeah, there's very big similarities with the winter celebrations that you do.
I will look around perplexed as the decorations go up and a little pissed.
Yeah.
Cultural appropriation, man.
No, it absolutely is. But
We hang little gingerbread figures of your god on our tree.
no trees. It's mostly a New Year festival. It's
Mhm.
lunar based and celebrating like the middle of winter, the coldest time, and there's gift giving, merrymaking, and people from miles away come to Salt Dock for the festivities, parades, street parties. The main square is kind of transformed, starting on the first day with huge snow sculptures.
I think at some point I might ask one of the scribes, like, hey, while they're setting up for that thing, is there like preparations we usually do?
You'd already know about the religious preparations that had been needed to do, but the scribes would tell you how the cathedral generally does it all.
You could probably delegate that shit.
Yeah, I totally delegate the shit out of all of this.
Mm-hmm. Rector
Throw that
Michael
rank
actually,
around a bit.
like Rector Michael is seen actually doing his job. He seems to like the festival, if
Oh.
not for it being an excuse for him to drink mulled wine 24 hours a day.
Fair. But yeah, other than that, I am like in the library.
Mm-hmm.
So when does Daddy Dearest show up?
I imagine a few days prior to the start of the festival, the servants start going nuts. That's the first sign.
Mm-hmm. Mr.
That
Luca will inform you. It's like, my lady, your father will be joining us the day after tomorrow.
wonderful. Let him know I'm looking forward to it.
Of course, I shall reply by return immediately. We are making the
Mhm.
necessary preparations. We are purchasing the festival foodstuffs that he's requested specifically. There were some things that we did not already have, and I worry that we'll not be able to get them, but we'll do our best.
He's into some weird, yeah. His family likes some weird stuff. Sorry.
Did you bring a blood bucket for me?
Yes, there's still fresh blood for you.
Thank you.
He doesn't need to know about that part.
Of course, my lady. I shall do my best to keep the bucket out of sight.
Thank you. I imagine he arrives fairly punctually.
Mm-hmm. There is a heavy rap of the head of his cane against the front door.
He doesn't just barge in? Wow. Polite.
Pomp.
So Katya is waiting in the study, dressed very nicely, sitting very properly.
I imagine I got dressed up very nice.
Either that or encouraged to hide.
I will not hide.
All right, in that case, dressed very nicely and wearing the mittens.
Mm-hmm. You hear the door open, and Mr. Luca. You hear Mr. Luca bow. It's that deep a bow. And he says, "Ah, my lord, Duke. I forgot his name again. He's got a character sheet and everything these days. Duke Jacobus. Welcome back. Your daughter is in the study waiting for you. What refreshments would you like?" And he says, "Spirit. Quickly, please."
Oh God, I'm picturing that guy from The Corpse Bride.
I've not seen The Corpse Bride.
Oh, I'm gonna find a picture.
And you hear his footsteps approaching. You also hear his right-hand man
Cringe.
whispering something. You could roll a hearing for me at a -4.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Nope.
Sorry, what were we rolling? Hearing?
Hearing -4. Did you make it there?
Katya did that.
Etho did.
Oh, that were a different hearing from Etho. You hear that man who delivered the letter speaking in a whisper, and he says, "She's been living with a strange woman, a foreigner. They shared a bed the first night." And then both the footsteps stop for a second, and then they continue, and your father enters the room.
Oh, not at all what I was picturing. Okay.
Followed quickly by his right-hand man who you've seen before, Mr. Harlow.
Oh man, he looks stern. That's not good.
Your puppy smiles at you. It's a very... it's a facade. It's paper thin.
Katya's is as well, but we're gonna act like we're super friendly at the beginning. Papa, how was your trip? And the superficial niceties.
It was fine, of course. And he hugs you, kisses you on your forehead gently. I'm just glad to see you safe.
I'm always safe, you know.
He blinks slowly.
Yeah, I know.
GM check. And I think it's at this moment that there's another bashing on the door. And
Uh-oh. Did you bring company?
no, he turns frowning. He says, "Let Mr. Luca get it. You haven't introduced me to your friend."
Oh, I'm sorry. That's rude of me. Father, this is Etho. Etho, this is my father, Duke Jacobus.
He looks you up and down. I'm sure you look great. What about the hands?
In the mittens, like demanded.
I think it's that sort of center muff thing that
Yeah,
we went with the first time.
maybe just some kind of scarf folded over your hands.
Yep. That way you could just sort of pull them apart and be immediately armed, but it's hidden
Mhm.
at the moment.
Hisho.
A pleasure to meet you. Where are you from? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, north. What was the name of the village where the shack was?
It's like right next to you, but it's got a name, like on that road.
I'll say that. You don't have to look it up.
He frowns. He says, "If you say so." And then you hear Mr. Luca open the door, and Archie, it's you that was banging on that door so frantically
Oh God.
because you found the answer, and it is terrifying.
Bum bum bum. Next week.
Next week on the Frozen Gods.
And
And
we
then
have
it's
a
like
whole week to try to figure out how to explain you. That's great.
It's if we did the not Arrested Development. No, yeah, if we did the Arrested Development cut to next time on the Frozen Gods. Archie says, "Poop is food."
What?
I figured it out. Poop is food. After
It's
been
really not.
worse.
I was really hoping that you were going to leave it at next week on Frozen Gods. Archie says poop is food, and then try to figure out how to work poop is food in at some point next week.
Oh well, it's
I mean, it's a challenge.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, it's already completed. It's gonna get mentioned a million times. There's gonna be so many people eating shit next week.
Ugh. Great.
I'm the GM, Luke. around that train wreck. I don't know. I still had fun. It was very
I
tired.
like
Sorry
episodes
about
like
that.
this.
Hmm. This was fun.
Glad you enjoyed. We had Tara.
Hey, I play Etho, the begrudging Lita of Katya.
We had Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee. I play Katya, and she still doesn't know what Lita means,
Hmm.
but probably needs to figure that out at some point.
And finally, we had James.
Hey, I'm James, and I play Archibald Smith, and I found the answer! I don't know what it is, but I found the answer!
I know where it is, but if I tried to articulate it now, I'd just confuse myself.
Okay.
It's also it's a good cliffhanger.
It is, isn't it? Aye. Thanks very much.
Hey, and let's do a call out to our very first Patreon supporter.
Kind Torment, thank you very much. I know
Kind
there were no
Torment.
content when you started that, but there's more and lots more coming soon.
There's
I've
more
already-
coming.
I've posted once, and we will upload on there at least once a week. So, catch us on
Yay!
thekoboldcafe.com, Kobold Cafe on Twitch, at Kobold Cafe on Twitter, and bye everybody.
Bye!
Good night.
Nighty